What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Let's wait for a few more to join, see if anybody joins. I don't know if we're going to get many in for a review, but how's everyone doing? Yeah, that Cardiff result made ours not look so bad, but yeah, still shouldn't be dropping that many points at home. Well, at home anyway, regardless if we were playing home or away, but should not be dropping 3 points like the way we did today. Mini Burhan Wagwan. How's everyone doing, guys? You all alright? We'll see how many join in and then we'll get cracking on with it. It's nothing really structured. I'm just going to talk to how poor we were again. Oh, I hope everyone's day has gone a bit better since the terrible game this afternoon. Wasn't great, was it? Let's be honest. I've had some food, watched the Cardiff game, so the afternoon got better as it went on. You can see my pretty face clearly now. I know, mate, there's no sun. It's just the camera now. Just the light, I mean. So if I block the light, it's a little bit dimmer, but it's not so bad. Swansea are falling apart. NFFC lover. Congratulations on the victory again today, mate. What's that? 2 on the bounce for you guys now. Well done. Congratulations. But I'm not sure how many we're going to get in. It's not going to be... It's not really a structured review. As I say, it's mainly just going to be just having a look through our stats again and looking at why we have been so bad as of late. Using your laptop to watch the stream for once. Happy days. You're normally watching it on your phone, you're watching the game on your laptop. For lunch, mate, I had chicken, chips, peas, garlic bread. It was nice. And then I watched the Cardiff game, so that was good. They lost 5-0. Crazy game. But yeah, like I say, we'll just have a quick look through today's stats, which weren't very good, let's be fair. First half stats were quite interesting, whereas we didn't really do anything at all in front of goal. We had 2 attempts on goal in the first half, none on target. Which again then didn't really which completely replicated into the second half, in which case we had 7 shots in the second half, but it wasn't very good. We had a couple of blocked shots throughout the game, blocked shots in total 3, so those probably would have counted as shots on target. So a couple of them aren't very, when you look at, we had no shots on target. 3 of those may have been on target, so it's again a credit to the defence of Preston North End, and same with Birmingham Friday night. They did very well against us as well in shutting us out and preventing us from getting really any shots through on goal. But it's just so frustrating at the moment. I mean, Cooper, there's so much talk about him lately, and especially today and Friday, Saturday, all weekend really. People are calling for Cooper out, and for me it's... what was the score? It was 1-0 Preston, mate, and you probably already know that. But for me, Cooper's done wonders. Look, it's amazing what he's managed to do with what he's had. And when you take a look at our results at the start of the season, we were exceeding form. We picked up an awful lot of results early on, start of the season. And then, midway through, when you look at February, wasn't so bad. January was all right. We had a couple of good results over Christmas, whereas normally we'd probably drop off. But it's just this run of form. I mean, 1 win in 6. If you look at the last 10, it probably isn't so bad. I mean, it is bad when you can take into account that the last 4 games we've lost on the trot, whereas we hadn't lost 2 games on the bounce all season. At least drawing after losing or winning after losing. In fact, we've won after, other than after every single loss we've suffered, we've bounced back with a win. Lost one, and then drawn 1, lost. Tommy in? No way, Burhan. I won't be in as manager, mate. You know that. But honestly, people calling for Cooper to be sacked. Who would they want to replace Steve Cooper? For the team that we have, the youth system that we're just going to have to be using to bring players through, there's no point in bringing in a big name because we don't have the funds. To fund the manager, and 2, to bring in the players that, of the caliber that he'd probably want to bring in. So we can't go looking for, a manager who's Premier League level, who's going to possibly drop down to the Championship, or even the Championship manager quality like Eddie Howe. We're just not going to get anyone like that. But again, it's frustrating to watch. It's infuriating to watch with no shots on goal throughout the entire game. It's completely understandable why people are saying certain things that they're saying online, but there's an awful lot of hate towards Steve Cooper, and I can only imagine what some of the players are receiving on their personal accounts this evening. It's obviously not nice. It's clearly not nice. But today's game, I think, as far as the players we had on the pitch, Cooper went for a change of lineup, 4 at the back instead of the usual 5 or 3, however you want to look at it. Hourihane came back into the team. Whittaker started today up top. Started on the wing, though. For me, I don't know why that was. He's clearly more of a wide man than he is a central man, even though how tall he is. He probably would have done a lot more damage had we had Ayew out on the wing with Whittaker in the centre and just lumped the balls into the box. But again, we didn't even do that. I mean, I'm not even sure how many crosses we got off today. Let's have a look. Accurate passes, crosses, 14 crosses to their 7. To their 17, but again, I don't remember many crosses being successful, getting into a dangerous attacking opportunity, and we really struggled. We really struggled in every sort of aspect of the game, other than dealing with them defensively for a small portion of the game. For the first half, we definitely put up with their attacking threats. With everything that they sort of threw at us in the first half. There's a couple of comfortable gathers and saves for Freddie Woodman to make. Mark Guy making some good blocks. Also, Matt Grimes getting involved defensively. Fulton getting involved defensively as well. But I don't know. I don't think that the new formation today, I don't think it would work out going forward either. We looked too vulnerable down the wings at the back. Roberts playing the 4 at the back, the 2 central defenders. Roberts was out of position quite a lot today, and then you had Cabango trying to keep up with a winger, and it wasn't possible at all. And honestly, the 4 at the back, I don't think it works for us, especially with the players that we've got, or at least the players that we had on there today, or at least not play the wing back, Roberts and Manning up so high, because Manning was very forward for majority of the game, especially when we were in possession. But it's just getting worse to watch for the every game progressively since sort of the turn of the season. Since the Norwich result, it's been bloody hard to watch. It's been really hard to watch. I mean, we were doing fantastic up to the Norwich game, and then we lost to Man City, beat Nottingham Forest 1-0. Lost 4-1 to Huddersfield, and I think that sort of derailed us, because from there on in, what was it? It was a penalty. We lost, then it was a penalty, and a penalty. So we were just, I don't know. Yo, bro, how you doing? I bet you £1 million Swansea will win their next game. If you want to give me £1 million, you can give me £1 million. You can donate to the stream if you like, but I don't see us. I just don't see us. I don't know. It's hard, mate. It's difficult. We got some tough fixtures coming up. Millwall midweek on Saturday, I should say. And they know pushovers, and we got Sheffield Wednesday, who thumped Cardiff today, then Wickham, who are on a good run as of late, QPR not playing too well lately, then Reading, Derby and Watford. We're going to get absolutely thumped against Watford come the end of the season if we keep playing the way we are. Things certainly need to turn around before we end up playing them. You'll get a few more of them. Own goals. That goal today was just, I don't know. I mean, Woodman dealt with what he had to deal with as far as he made the save. It was just very unfortunate on Matt Grimes to be in that position. At the time, you can see he's clearly trying to get back, truly just trying to help and cover. And Woodman makes the save, and then next thing you know, the ball's ricocheted off of Woodman from a Scott Sinclair effort, which was just inevitable. As soon as Scott Sinclair came on, it was just inevitable. I think that he was gonna put the ball in the back of the net one way or another today. And obviously he did that by getting the shot off against Freddie Woodman. That ricocheted, as I say, off of Matt Grimes and straight into the back of the net. And as soon as Grimes hit it, it was only going one way. He was too close to the goal for anybody else to try and recover it, or for him to try and get back. I don't know. I mean, we caused absolutely nothing going forward. There was a couple of opportunities, I think, where Whittaker got into a couple of good shooting positions. I think the reason why we played him out on the right is because of how good he is with his left foot at cutting in across the face of the box and then getting that left-footed shot away. But I just keep saying but because it was so bad. It's just excuses. And Cooper, he made the tactical change today. He changed the formation. And then again, 3 up top, 4 at the back, 3 in midfield, and it still just didn't work. It just didn't work. As I say, we coped with what Preston could throw at us early on in the game throughout the first half. I think we limited them to quite a few opportunities in the first half. As I say, Woodman dealt with an awful lot of it. So 6 shots, 2 on target. They were easy enough for Woodman to deal with. And they had, 2 shots off target. But I mean, in the last 5 games, right? I had a look at our last 5 games. In the last 5 games, so Luton, we lost 1. We beat 1-0. We had 8 shots, 2 on target, right? We lost 3-0 to Bournemouth. We had 7 shots and 2 on target. Then we lost 1-0 to Cardiff. We had 23 shots, 1 on target. Lost 1-0 to Birmingham. We had 7 shots and 3 on target. And then we lost today 1-0 against Preston North End. We had 9 shots and none on target. So in the last 5 games, we had 54 shots, 6 on target. We've conceded as many goals in the last 5 games as we have had shots on target, which is absolutely abysmal. And I don't know the reason for it. I mean, Jamal Lowe just isn't doing anything up top at the moment. He seems to have lost quite a lot of pace. That or the players he was facing earlier on in the season were just not what they are now. Whether there's been a change in players of the other teams or whether or not, I don't know, Jamal's just... I'm not saying players aren't giving their all. I don't think any player will really go out onto the pitch and not give their all, especially when fighting for promotion. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We're 4th in the table. Yeah, we are 4th in the league. With 7 games to go, so we're in a good position. I know Brentford are playing tomorrow, which hopefully Birmingham can do a job for us tomorrow. I don't see it happening, but Bowyer did a good job over us, so it'd be nice for Brentford to drop points tomorrow. But I mean, Barnsley on 68 points, which is quite worrying. They've stormed it. They've only lost 1 in the last 5. Same as Reading, 1 in the last 5. Bournemouth, 1 in the last 5. I'm not even worried about Cardiff. They played a game more than everyone else, as are Barnsley and Reading. But I think it's just going to be really, really difficult for us. I mean, we're definitely not catching the top 2. Definitely not. There's 10 points adrift, and Watford, I don't see Watford dropping many points at all. On goals don't count. We won't score against Wickham. Akinfenwa goal. We're going to lose 1-0 every game apart from Watford. We're going to lose 5-0. Wow, Jack. Wow. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world as far as league position. Form is awful. Form is terrible. I mean, to be 4th in the table having lost 10 games is quite extraordinary. We're just lucky we haven't drawn more than we have. But I mean, we've lost double the amount of games as top of the table Norwich. And we've lost 3 more than the 2 teams above us, which is quite shocking. But we are 4th. We're still well within a playoff shout. 65. So only 4 points away, Bournemouth. But as I say, I'm not too worried about Bournemouth. I'm really not. As much as I may seem it, I'm really not that bothered about Bournemouth at the moment. Barnsley, I'm worried about. I think we may drop down to maybe 5th. Maybe finish 4th come the end of the season. But do you fancy us against Barnsley? Do you fancy us against Brentford in the playoffs? Who would you guys want in the playoffs? Because that's inevitably where we're going to end up. But today just wasn't with it. I mean, to be having no shots on target again in another game, it's just not really acceptable. 6 shots in the last 5 games you had on target. The likelihood of scoring from those 6 shots is probably, maybe 1 in 6 if you're very lucky. And we've had 1-0 against Luton and 1-0 today, so we've scored 2 goals from those 6. So I think we've been very lucky with that. But I just don't know. Want Cardiff in the playoffs? Do you really, Burhan? Do you really want Cardiff City in the playoffs? For me, I don't think it's. It's not a good option. Go all out, yeah, maybe. I don't think we should. I don't really want Cardiff in the playoffs. I don't think we do a job against them. I really, really don't. I know that sucks to hear. I see them doing another beating us again. I really, really would see them beating us again. They were awful tonight, mind. Absolutely awful. Really, really bad tonight. Yes, we do, says Martin. Yeah. Jack says, I want Barnsley, and if we get to the playoffs, playoff final somehow, I want Reading in the final. You want a repeat of 2011? That would be very interesting. 10 years later, to then have a repeat of the playoff final would be quite some achievement, but I don't know. I'm not sure if Reading would get that far. But like I say, our next couple of games are vital. We've got 7 games left for the rest of the season. And they're vital. Millwall, Sheffield Wednesday, Wickham, QPR, Reading, Derby and Watford. I mean, those 3 games at the end are going to be solid. The 4 games before, for me, he's got to be looking at 9 points. You've got to be looking at 9 points. Drop points somewhere, but don't draw 3, for Christ's sake. Don't draw 2 games. I don't want anything silly like that. I would take 9 points from those next 4. Especially the way we've been playing, I would take 9 points from those next 4. Let's have a look at some of the player stats today, because I don't think many of them were really promising. Let's have a look at Ryan Manning. He played a full game. You'll beat Watford 1-0? Nah, we won't beat Watford 1-0. Manning had a shot, accurate passes. That's one thing I wanted to point out. At least our pass accuracy was up better today. It was up to 70-something percent, 72%, I believe. Long balls, 4 crosses, 42 accurate passes. He won 9 duels, lost 4, 3 clearances, 1 headed clearance, was fouled 4 times. So a good threat, definitely a good threat going down that left-hand side. Recovery 7, was offside once, which isn't too bad. Take a look at his opposite number, Connor Roberts. Accurate passes 42, pretty much the same as Manning. 17 in the opposition half, 75% pass success rate. Won 3 duels, lost 4. Bit of a better performance from him tonight than what it was on Friday. 11 recoveries, not offside once, and 2 interceptions. A decent afternoon for Connor Roberts. Guy was booked, which I think was unfortunate. Oh, excuse me, early one for me, which was very fortunate for him. To pick up a booking. A lot of the Preston players for that foul were actually calling for a penalty, which he never would have been given. Never would have been given. Before recoveries, 2 interceptions, 4 aerial deals, 1 and 2 lost. Again, a decent afternoon for him, but Cabango I thought was okay. Was low really that good. They've given him a 7.3. So sometimes FOTMob's ratings are a little bit dubious, but it pretty much goes off stats regardless of how they look in the game. So we'll have a look at, Whittaker and Ayew, 5.9 for Ayew. That's an awful player rating. No shots, 12 accurate passes. He was far too deep for me a lot of the time. He was far too deep. Far too deep. Was fouled once, 3 times, fouls conceded, one recovery. He wasn't there. And he has not been there. We both lack a striker. Watford fans saying that you're fucking banging them in regardless. I mean, it's alright, disappointment for you guys today. The Five Bellies would have a fit if he saw those ratings. He would, mate. Watford dropped points today, but I mean, you've been smashing them in, mate. The amount of goals you guys have scored this season is absolutely crazy. But Jamal, 7.3. Let's have a look. Total shots 2, passes 17 accurate passes, 1 shot off target, none on target, 1 blocked. We are massively lacking a striker. I mean, to have no shots on target today it was embarrassing again. But yeah, Five Bellies would have a fit. Jamal, I mean, like, aerial deals 1-6. He lost 5, offside twice, recovered the ball twice, headed clearances 1, crosses 2. I mean, he shouldn't really be taking, alright, he's playing as a wide man today, which probably, you take a few more crosses, but I just thought we lacked a lot today. I mean, Hurahan, 6.7. I think he was very, very fortunate not to be injured through today's game, because a lot of tackles went on him, and I think another day Preston would have been down to 10 men very, very early on in the match. They were very, very, very fortunate to have 11 men on the field, I think. We need some new players next season. Yeah, but who the hell? I mean, players are going to want to come here to develop. That is all it's going to be, right? Players are going to want to come to Swansea to develop. But we're going to start losing that sort of identity before long, because players, alright, yeah, we're 4th in the league and we've played some fantastic sort of football at the start of the season. We played awful football for the majority of the season. I'm just fed up to the back teeth with these performances. They've not been good, Jake. They've not been good. Not at all, mate. But it's just, I mean, the start of the season, and like, say, January, February, we were picking up points. Performances were a lot better to start the season, don't get me wrong. They have been abysmal lately. Absolutely abysmal lately. And to be fair, the last 4 games have only been an actual pure reflection of how we've been playing. We've actually dropped the points. We've only picked up 3 points of the last 15 available. And we've been, those 4 defeats have been just because we have been absolutely shocking. We've not deserved to pick up any points from them. And our recent performances leading up to these 4 defeats, the 4 defeats sort of reflect exactly how we played before those 4 defeats. With the penalties late on, it really, really did save us. Yeah, but if we get a good player from the Prem, who is going to want to come and play for Swansea from the Premiership? Who? Give me a name. Tell me somebody who's going to want to drop down to the Championship, which we can't afford, just cannot afford. Who's going to want to drop down from the Premiership and play for Swansea in the Championship? Andre has done it. Andre has stayed with us. He'll be gone. He'll be long gone now at the end of the season, regardless of what happens. I think his time here has probably come and is finished. And that's not just because he's been playing bad as of late, but I think he's going to do one at the end of the season. That's my honest opinion. I think Andre is going to do one at the end of the season as quickly as possible. I know his contract's out anyway, but he's just going to be straight out of here regardless. If we keep playing like this, no one will join us. Tom, Dick, and Harry would. No one, like I say, nobody is going to join us. But I've decided to have a look at an article of what managers are available. If Cooper was to get sacked, I am not on the Cooper out brigade whatsoever. I'm Cooper in. He's done a fantastic job the last 2 seasons. Finishing the playoffs last year, last game of the season was exceeding expectations. This year, if somebody had said to you, 7 games to go, you're 4th in the league, fighting for the playoffs, fighting to get promoted to the Premier League. You know, whether you said you were in with a shout of second place or not, even if they'd said to you 7 games to go, you're in the playoffs, you're 4th, you're 6 points from dropping out, you're 10 points off of second place. There's nobody in here that can tell me that they wouldn't have taken that. Like, I would have taken that. I was not expecting us to, you know, be doing this well throughout the season. You know, I think the 4 defeats on the bounce and the way we've been playing, if that was spread out over the season, I don't think it would be so bad. It's just the spell that we're going through, which has been bad, yeah, really, really bad, and we need to sort it out. We really do need to sort it out. But like I say, if that was spread out throughout the season, it wouldn't look so bad. It would be absolutely fine. A youngster, maybe Meslier. Too big. He's going to want too much. You know, they're going to want either too much for him to come down here, or they're going to want too much, or he's going to want too much as part of a salary percentage. So there's managers on your, you know, Premier League, the A-listers out of work. Scroll past all of them because none of them are going to come here. Premier League firefighters currently out of work. Benitez, Mark Hughes, Eddie Howe, Marco Silva, whoever he is, Yardim, no idea. Out of work managers, championship contenders. Ryan, that's me. Why would Meslier join Swansea? Exactly. Solomon, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing good. Thanks for dropping in tonight. Ryan, hope you're doing good. That's a downgrade in all honesty. Yeah, of course. So managers, championship managers out of a job. Tony Pulis, no, we don't want Pulis. As much as he would be good if you were fighting relegation, I don't think he's going to give you that boost to push on for the playoffs. David Wagner, former Huddersfield man. Would he come here? Would he do a job here? I don't know. But for me, I don't really like I don't like the man. I don't like the man. I don't like his style of play. I don't like his press conferences. But he may be he might be the man to sort of push you on to try and get you across the line. But as I say, if people are joining, I'm not Cooper out. This is literally just an article I wanted to look at just to see what managers are actually available on the market. If the worst was to happen for Cooper, there may be a few more. This was done at the end of last month, so there may be. Vieira is not an A-list manager, no, but he's probably going to pull an A-list job, I guess. This is done by marathonbet.com. You're quite ill, to be honest. Oh no, mate. Oh no. I'm alright. I'm doing good. I'm just disappointed by today's performance and the Easter weekend performance as a whole, really. From the Swans, it's not been good. It's not been pretty, and it's been 0 points, as you know, so not great. I'm not sure. Gus Poyet, no, not a man I would want in. So I'd like to say the market is slim. The market is very, very slim. Oscar Garcia, no idea who he is. Brighton and Watford. Phil Parkinson, no, not the man for me. Sol Campbell, no. Mark Van Bommel, no. Di Matteo, no. I mean, there's a whole list here. There's Aito Karanka, Alex Dyer, Alex McLeish, Villas Boas. I mean, there's so many managers on here we'd never get. But Chris Coleman, Chris Wilder. People have online been asking for Frank Lampard. I mean, give me a break. Give me a freaking break. Like, he's not. Frank Lampard would not even consider coming to Swansea. We haven't got the funds for him. We haven't got the funds to support him. Simple as, it wouldn't happen. So the people online that are asking for Frank Lampard to come down, grow up. It ain't happening. Just isn't going to happen. Gary Caldwell, Gary Monk, nope. Harry Kewell, nope. Ian Holloway, a fantastic name in football, a brilliant sort of personality, but not the man for us down here. The best part of the game was when the camera was black. Yeah, when we couldn't see anything. Klinsmann, Kenny Jackett, Marco Silva, Mark Hughes. Neil Lennon, that'll be interesting. Wouldn't happen. Paul Clement's out of a job, guys. Paul Clement. Anybody take Paul Clement back? You say Page. Depends who would get the Welsh job, doesn't it, really? Paul Lambert. Not a bad name. You know, that may be one of the names that I would go for. As much as I'm not a huge fan of the guy, I think he's a fantastic manager. But that would be one of the names. Phil, oi, Sablois. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Just looking at some of the managers who are available on the market. Again, to reiterate, I am not Cooper out. But you're going to have some chocolate. I might join you, Jack. I might crack on with this Easter egg from earlier on. Neil Lennon's League One standard, to be fair. Yeah, again, not somebody I'd really want. It's just just interesting to see some of the names on you. But Lambert, Paul Tisdale. It's quite a good few names on you. Again, not many of them would come down to Swansea. PK Sanchez Flores, too big a name. Benitez, too big a name, too big a purse. And that's about it, really. Vladimirovic, but wouldn't do a job for us. The thing is, with the players we've got, the players we would attract, and the setup we have, we need somebody like Cooper who does work well with youngsters. There's absolutely no point in bringing anybody else in my opinion. I would rather have somebody. I'd rather not get promoted this season and build a squad of our own players that we own, whether it's over the course of the next 2 years. You know, push for the playoffs for consecutive seasons, whether we miss out, whatever. Before we went up, we missed out on the playoffs. Simple as. The season before we went up, we missed out on the playoffs. But I want someone to come in, rebuild what fell apart as being a Premier League team. I want the cohesion with the fans to be there when we go back to the stadium. I don't want a toxic atmosphere. Today's game would have been hard to be in the stadium, as would Friday night's game been hard to be in the stadium. Even if we'd have been, even if it was away, we would have been hard to be there. I just don't want a toxic atmosphere. I want a party atmosphere. If we go up, I want it to be a party. I don't want it to be, oh, we lost 4 on the bounce going towards the end of the season. If we go up now, who the hell is going to remember this end of the season period? Really, if we went up through the playoffs now, right, in the next, 12, we got 7. So the next 10 games, drop my chair. Within the next 10 games, if we get to the playoff final, there's 10 games left of the season. If we went up, how many people are really going to complain and care about these 4 games that we lost on the bounce? Yeah, it's dropped us away from automatic promotion places, but we're still well within a shout of the playoffs. And with that, while we're being in a shot of the playoffs, we're still within touching distance. We're not going to catch Watford. But if we got up, nobody is going to remember these 4 games, right? Preston, Birmingham, Cardiff, and Bournemouth. Nobody is going to end up remembering those. Nobody's going to end up caring. So it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. For me, I'm happy with Cooper. I want us to build. I want us to be a strong team going up to the Premier League. We are far, far too weak. If we went up now, this season, I think we'd get battered. We'd be like Sheffield United. But they're in a much, much stronger position than us. Financially, squad structure, and squad strength. Far, far better position than us. And they're the whipping boys of the Premier League. I don't want to go up, and I didn't want to be that. Hi, Tom. Sorry I'm late. I didn't realise you were live. You got the bell notifications on YouTube? You'd get a notification if you did. You might have them, they just not be working. But yeah, I didn't want to put it anywhere. I couldn't be asked to post all over social media. I just wanted to put it up, go live in half an hour, and just get people, just see how many people join. Phil says, we won't get promoted, but you're right, we need some players who will play for the badge. which is exactly what we had when we went up. 10 years ago when we went to the Premier League, that's not going to be replicated, I don't think, through many of our lifetimes. With the sort of players that we had coming up through the leagues with us, from the position we were in, foot of League Two, getting promoted at Bury, getting promoted through League One, and then building. Do it so was glitched. Okay, no worries, absolutely fine. But like I say, we built the squad. We had players who loved coming into Swansea. Back then, like I say, it was completely different. You could go out a bit more. You could be an awful lot more involved in the community as far as players and getting away with a lot more things. And that helped build, the team cohesion and everything like that inside the squad. Everyone loved playing for Swansea City back then. There was a couple, who drifted away, this, that, and the other, but what we built going up to the Premier League that season and those seasons before was something special. I don't think we're ever going to replicate that again for as long as some of us live. But I don't know. We're far too what's the word I'm looking for? Not naive, but we're just inexperienced and too much of a young squad as far as age and the players we have at the squad at Swansea City. For me, we need players to have been here for a few more years, players who know exactly what it's like. Yeah, we've got Grimes and a few other players like that, but I think Andre would have left if he really had the opportunity at the end of the season last year. We were very, very lucky that he did stay, given the fact that he's been awful the last few games. He's been instrumental for where we are in the league. But I don't know. I mean, bringing in a couple of players this season, it was difficult. We lost out on a couple of the players who got recalled earlier on in the season. Morgan Gibbs-White getting injured and then being recalled. Casey Palmer being recalled. It not working out with the two Americans. A lot of it has not really been, plain sailing for us this year. And excuses, I know, but I think, again, still, we're exceeding expectations to be fourth in the league after 39 games with 7 games to go, well within a shot of the playoffs, well within a chance of getting promoted. I don't think we should really be complaining. And I don't blame Cooper. His tactics haven't been fantastic. The only massive downfall for me, I think, is his game management. Tactical awareness during a match. He's far too responsive to what other managers are doing, and when a situation has passed us, you think Watford will finish first. You can see Norwich dropping points. I don't see Norwich dropping enough points, man. I know they're only 5 points behind. Norwich have a game in hand, which is tomorrow. So if they win now, that's back up to 8 points ahead. I don't see Norwich dropping away from second place. I think they'll easily reach 100 points, and I think Watford will get up into the 90s, whereas I think we'll probably just about get up into the 80s. You say give Cullen a chance up front. He could actually be good. Should be giving him a chance. Yeah, but I think these chances need to come earlier on in the season rather than now. I know we're not performing, but I just think it's too much of a risk to put on a youngster this busy period of the season. Cooper looks like he's on Mars most of the time. I think that's just his sitting face, really. The board have got to take a lot of the blame. Yeah. I mean, Cooper's not been helped, has he? Let's be honest. He's not been really given any money. He's not been given any back in. So for us to be fourth, again, I think it's a fantastic job that he's done. Yeah, I'm not really too much of a fan of this chocolate, I think I'll be wrapping now and back up. It's just hard, isn't it? It's just difficult, man. I mean, our next couple of games, as I say, from the next 4 games, I want at least 9 points. For me, nothing else is going to suffice because teams around us will pick up a lot of points. Let's have a look at. Let's have a look at Barnsley's running. So they've got Reading, fantastic. Luton, Borough, Coventry, Huddersfield, Rotherham, Preston, Norwich. Fuck, that's an easy run in, isn't it? That's quite an easy run in. And then Reading, obviously they've got Barnsley next, Derby, Watford, Cardiff, Luton, Swansea, Norwich, Huddersfield. That's horrible. That's not nice. And Brentford's run-in isn't fantastic either, I don't believe. Huddersfield, Birmingham, Preston, Millwall, Cardiff, Bournemouth, Rotherham, Watford, Bristol. Bournemouth's run-in. Borough, Blackburn, Coventry, Huddersfield, Norwich, Millwall, Brentford, Wycombe, Stoke. I'd say they probably got the second easiest after Barnsley. But Reading's is quite difficult. Brentford's isn't the easiest. And our running isn't fantastic, to be fair. So I don't know. For me, I think we'll probably finish 4th now for the rest of the season. I think we'll probably finish 4th. Brentford will finish above us. Hopefully they'll have a more difficult game going into the playoffs. And then we can try and get into the playoff final against someone like Barnsley. Beating somebody like Barnsley and getting into the playoff final against Brentford or Reading. But I don't know. It's going to be a difficult end to the season. That is for sure. Nothing is going to be easy. There's never an easy game in the Championship. McBurney, get him back. He'll do a job. We won't be able to afford him now. Simply won't be able to afford him. He's got Premier League wages. Not something we can afford, unfortunately. Not something we can afford. So I honestly think, as I said, playoffs is definitely on the cards for us. I don't see us dropping out. I think it's going to take a lot for us to drop out of the playoffs now before the end of the season. I know it's only 6 points, but I don't see it happening. McBurney is a true jack. He is, but it's money, man. It's money. Like, you get a lifestyle. You get money. He ain't coming back, boys. Yeah, he ain't coming back. Not unless we get into the Premier League and offer a very, very handsome sum. Maybe get buyers back. He could be a shout now. I mean, he'd definitely get into our midfield. That's for sure. I'm not sure exactly how he's performing for Portsmouth, but he would definitely get into our midfield. Did he play? No. Did he play at all? No. So he's being wasted. Let's have a look at him. His season stats there, League One. Yeah, he's not performing well, is he? He's not performing well with Portsmouth. Not at all. And they are 4th, and he's just not hitting any sort of figures there whatsoever. So, yeah, that I don't know if that's much of a shout, to be honest, Ducks. I mean, he'd get into the midfield. Whether he would do anything in the midfield, I don't really think so. Bring Steve Cooper out of retirement and play him up top. Yeah, it's all money, mate. And like I say, we just haven't got it. Can't afford these big players, can't afford these big wages. It's going to be a rebuilding process for the next few years. And I think the sooner that the fans accept that, I think the better we'll all be. And I think that's the honest truth about it, is at the end of the day, I've always sort of had my feet grounded when it comes to Swansea. I started supporting us literally the season before we were bottom of League Two. So it's all been uphill for the Swans as far as me supporting them up until we got relegated from the Premier League. So we're still little old Swansea City, plain and simple. We're still little old Swansea City, who are over exceeding expectations in reality. As far as a lot of the young fans, it's all just online abuse, and it's fucking horrible, man. It's really, really horrible. And I'm sorry if there's a couple of youngsters in here, but hopefully none of you on my channel at least are dickheads to players online. There's absolutely no need for it. They're human beings. They need support just like anybody else when things are difficult. And to start getting on someone's back and abusing them is just completely wrong. As I said, the Championship is ruthless. It's not easy, but the young players we have mixed with a little bit of experience is doing well. To be fair, it is. As I said earlier, if these 4 defeats had been spread out throughout the season, and then maybe we had picked up 2 defeats on the bounce earlier in the season or midpoint through the season, actually losing 3 on the bounce, 4 on the bounce wouldn't be as bad. And the people abusing players online ain't doing anything at all for players' confidence. Nothing at all. No confidence boost at all. If you're doing your job and you're doing poorly out there, fair enough, give criticism, but don't be abusing people, man, to the point where they're having to report it and they're having to sign off of social media. Read your last. Wait, I can't remember. Did we sell Asoro or is he on loan? If he's on loan, get him back. Didn't we get rid? I believe we sold him, didn't we? '18, but not a Swans fan myself. Soro joined Swansea on a 4-year contract for a fee of 12 million in July. Loan to Genoa on On 18th of February 2021, Asoro signed with Allsvika club, whoever they are, keeping him with the club until, yeah, he's not ours. We let him go for free. I thought so. I thought that was the case. We let him go for free. When's everyone going to sleep and waking up? Birhan, I'll be going to sleep in about, what was it, about 3 hours probably, mate. Probably about 3 hours. And then getting up nice and early. Let's have a look at Watford would be top as far as goal difference is concerned by 1. We'd be first, second, third, fourth, fifth. We need a FIFA career mode, youth academy in real life. We need a FIFA career mode, youth academy in real life. Yeah. I'm 19 with 5 kids. Do a FIFA career mode with Alex Hunter or just a career mode. I don't have FIFA. I went off FIFA after FIFA 18. I think that's the only one I actually have installed. Yeah, FIFA 18. It's the only one I have installed on the PC. Football Manager 2020 I have installed. I started doing a playthrough of that, but it wasn't really great. It was going well. But as far as video views were concerned, it wasn't very good. Get Garrick on. He's a quick player. He's gone too, isn't he? Jordan Garrick's out on loan, I believe. All we need, And I mean, all we need is the rebuilding process over the next couple of seasons. Ride it out. Do FIFA 18. Oh, man, it's awful. I can't be playing those old games now, man. But all we need is because FIFA 18 was the last time Swansea were in the Premier League. It was, mate. It was. We could do like a flashback. But all we need is a rebuilding process, and I think it's going to take a couple of seasons. Realistically, how long do you see us in the Championship? If you want my honest opinion, I don't see us getting promoted this year. So that'll be another season next year, which would be season 4. What you got to understand, though, is that this season was the final year of parachute payments. If we get rid of Steve Cooper, we're not going to be bringing in any more fantastic World Cup under-17s players because they're all bigger now than Swansea City. Simple as. All of those players from Cooper's contacts, they're all now bigger than the club. They're all bigger than the club. Guy won't be back next season. Woodman won't be back next season. Brewster, all the players that Cooper could have contacted, as far as we've had, won't come back next season. Do I think Wickham will ever win the Premier League? Whatever. As far as football is concerned, anything's possible, mate. Anything is possible. Anything. I never saw Swansea in the Premier League. They got up there. Another 3 seasons, says Jack. Possibly. Quite possibly. An hour-long stream, says Burhan. Yeah. Not bad, mate. Another hour long. Why not? Get the views up on the channel. Get the watch time up on the channel. I'm not sure if we've had any new subscribers throughout this, but 1,191 we're on at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. We hit 2,800 views on the live stream this afternoon for the game. We need to get players to compete, Brandon. Exactly. Sign Danny Ward as a replacement for Freddie Woodman. It's not a bad shout. So really, this is the best chance you've had of getting promotion for a while. Yeah, it is. And as far as getting up the last 3 seasons is your best shot at it, because that's where your parachute payments are. That's where you can sort of get the pull of players to be like, right, our roadmap is to bounce straight back to the Premier League over the next two seasons. You can sort of pull in some better standard of players. Now it's a case of, right, we're rebuilding to try and get back to the Premier League over the course of X amount of years. If a player hears that, he's probably not going to want to get involved in it. If they're saying, right, we're going to push the boat out a little bit, we're going to throw a little bit of money at it in the hopes that we can get promoted in the next year or so. It's pulling power. Good night, Burhan. Speak to you tomorrow, mate. Have a good evening. North Star, buddy. But yeah, I mean, I just don't. It's going to get harder. It's going to get harder. Even though we've sort of improved the last 3 seasons in the Championship, it's going to get harder after this season, in my opinion. If we don't go up now, it's going to get more difficult. I'd rather go up now, maybe struggle next season, come back down, and have more money to play with, and then reset from there. But as far as, I don't think we'd compete in the Premier League at the moment. If we went up, a chunk of the squad isn't even ours. So you'd have to straight away invest in the players that you'd be replacing, let alone buy the players that you need to strengthen and improve the squad. It's going to be a hell of a challenge if we went up. It'd be a hell of a challenge next season if we don't go up. So next year, I think is going to be more difficult, regardless of what division we're in, whether we're in the Premier League, fighting relegation, or in the Championship, and I don't know, pushing for the playoffs or trying to get into mid-table. Next season will be even more difficult. We're going to have to try and find a goalkeeper. We've got to try and find a centre-back, if not 2. We're going to have to try and find a midfielder, an attacking midfielder, definitely a striker or 2, another winger, because Andre's going to be gone. it's just, and then Ben Hamer's going to need to be replaced because he's not going to cut it doing anything either. Then you've got to strengthen the bench because people like Ollie Cooper and Brandon Cooper, are they going to squeeze their way into the starting 11? They've been on the bench quite a few times. Ollie Cooper's been on the bench, I believe, 17 or 18 times this season and not featured. It's just it's hard, and next season's going to be even harder next year. So I don't know. With that, I think we'll probably call it a night. What we've done, 57 minutes live, I think it is. We'll have a look. We'll go for another couple more minutes. We'll get it up to an hour. The new Saints will win the Champions League next season. That would be hilarious. But as I say, I don't think anyone can really be, annoyed as to where we are in the league. I think people have the right to be annoyed with our recent form. Catch you later, Jack. Catch you on Saturday. But I don't think people can really be annoyed as to where we are in the league. Yeah, our form has dropped off. Yes, our performances have dropped off. Yes. Yes. What was I going to say? We've dropped out of pole position as far as getting into second spot. A few games ago, we were in pole position for second spot. We had 2 games in hand, but only 3 points behind. I think it was Brentford at the time, whereas Watford were 4th or 5th, just before they sacked their manager and replaced him. And that's the crazy thing in football. That is the crazy thing in football. You can, your luck can completely change just by sacking a manager and bringing in some fresh ideas. But I really don't know. I honestly do not know what we can do going forward. Cooper is definitely the man. People just got to get off his back. People got to get off the players' backs. Yes, performances have been awful. They need to improve. I think that's obvious for everybody to see. Man, like I say, it's just disappointing, frustrating with the way the games have been going. The lack of opportunities in front of goal, the lack of creativity, defensive weaknesses that has been showing for weeks now. Funny, when I came along, you were flying. Now this happens. Get out, Drakeford. You're on a fire break. Yeah, that's right. We were absolutely flying. Now it's gone downhill a bit. The streams are doing well, regardless. The streams are still really doing really well. I'd love to be doing Premier League content next season. Absolutely love to be doing Premier League content next season. But at the same time, Championship content and creators are brilliant. They're a lot more engaging from what I've found. But obviously I'd much rather be in the Premier League playing football, be on the big stage, attracting even more fans from around the world to the club and to Total Swans TV. Building it together would be amazing. But again, I would still be very, very happy as a Championship football content creator, supporting a Championship team next season, with Steve Cooper at the helm, rebuilding for a Premier League promotion push over the next few seasons. I'd be more than happy with that. Like I said, I still see us as little old Swansea City, who are exceeding and overachieving certain expectations. Yeah, you've got to get with times, and you've got to move your expectations and targets with where you are in the league, with financial situations, the sort of squad you've got in. But also, we're still Swansea City, and for a lot of you older fans, maybe like myself, maybe the ones who are definitely a lot older than me, Swansea are doing amazing things, and the club with the community is exceeding. It is fantastic, and I think the sooner that the younger sort of generation fans notice that, get on board with that, and accept that, I think the online hate will certainly reduce and hopefully disappear. But Twitter is an absolute ball ache for it, man. Absolute ball ache for it. But the players have got to be held accountable just as much as Cooper. And to have no shots on target today was just embarrassing. We created the opportunities. We got into certain attacking, threatening opportunities, and we could have put the ball in the back of the net. We simply could have, but we just failed to do so with a couple of blocked opportunities and just lack of creativity. Things have got to change for Saturday against Millwall. A crucial game, as I said, in our bid now to try and do something towards the end of the season. But it's going to be playoffs for us. We're not going to get anything better than the playoffs. You know, people are saying we're going to drop out of it, this, that, and the other. Like, we're not going to drop out of the playoffs. Mark my word. Remember this timestamp. We're not going to drop out of the playoffs. Millwall, Sheffield Wednesday, Wickham, QPR, all very winnable games. I know Wednesday bad Cardiff. Winnable games. Easily winnable games. Get lost, Mark. Your fault. Drakeford out, Cooper in. We should start referring to timeouts and bans as fire breaks now. I think we will. We won't put him in a timeout. We'll put you in a fire break. Steve would get hammered by certain people on Twitter. Yeah, can you imagine if he actually had his own account on there, he would just get annihilated. But guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. Don't forget, get hitting that like button, subscribe. Thank you very much for everyone who tuned in to the live review. If you're watching this on the replay, please hit that like button. If you are new to Total Swans TV, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna be live Saturday, about 12:10 on Total Swans TV for the Millwall against Swansea game. Guys, thank you very much. Have a fantastic week until Saturday. Come on, Swans. Yeah, guys, I'm just going to wrap it up now. So thank you all very much for tuning in. We will catch you guys Saturday. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening. Catch you in a bit.